So tonight we're back to work on the 5-cylinder 07K swap BMW E30 Drift car. Last video, did a bunch of yapping. Sorry about that, was sick and stuff, but I'm feeling a little bit better, so we're getting back on our feet and getting back to work on this rig. I was starting to plan coolant routing, like coolant lines and stuff like that, and I have made a grave mistake. I've made a big error, a big oopsie, a big bad, just bad. So the 07K never came from factory like longitudinally mounted, they were always transverse. So that means all the important stuff, when it is longitudinal, is against the firewall. And the important thing that I forgot to do is flip the coolant flange. I have it on the right way up, like the way that it's supposed to be. In my brain, I had it flipped on purpose, and then people gave me shit on the internet anyway because of it. It's upside down, you mounted it upside down. I had a plan and then I changed it and then... So the coolant flange I have is not a stock OEM plastic one, it's a billet one from Bruce Brothers Garage, and it's angled down this way, like this. So the only way to run a coolant line out of it is if I wanted to go down and around like this, because you can't really go down and loop around and then come across. I feel like, I mean, you probably could do that, but I feel like that's inefficient. I don't know. I feel like that's not a good way to do that. So here's what I need to do. So instead of having a coolant line go from here, run across here, over, up, and into there, we need to unbolt the engine, scooch it forward a couple inches so I can get to the timing cover. And once I can get to the timing cover, I can take off the thermostat, or not the thermostat, the freaking coolant flange, and then I can flip it back over. Oh, I love 07K is so great. I'm just kidding, but that kind of sucks that I have to do it that way, but I chose this life. I wanted to do this, so nothing else to do but to get to work, so time-lapse time. All right, engine is a lot easier to take out than it is to put in. Huh? Yeah, nah, I don't know. But as you can see, now we have a lot more access to the timing cover, the upper timing cover where the coolant flange is. And you can tell the coolant flange angles down and towards the passenger side. So I have this little tube here. I just don't see it being a good way to go around. And then I don't see it being a good idea to like kind of go down like this and around. I don't think that's the right way to do it. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. So we're just gonna flip the coolant flange upside down. That way this is pointing up towards this way. So then that way we can go and like underneath the intake manifold here. That way it kind of simplifies lines and yeah, I don't know. There's no really good way to do this. Wait a second, real-time thought process. What's stopping me from just turning that hose the other way and having it come this way and then do a hard pipe on this side underneath the intake manifold? Why wouldn't that work? Would that work? I don't know. Hold on, let me do some experimenting and science and stuff. I love hoarding parts because for whatever reason, I had this coolant hose. I believe this is from my Mark II, and it just happens to have the perfect shape, like an S-curve. It doesn't pinch off right here or anything. So I think what we could do is actually use this hose, have it come up, and then we can cut it somewhere along these lines. So when I put the engine back in, there should be enough room for it to clear. It won't hit the firewall because there's like this little recess indent kind of for the trans tunnel. And then we can just cut this tube. Honestly, we could probably just keep it right there and then do like a 90 hard line, have it run across and right to the rad. Just, I think that might work. Bad news is, I still need to take the upper timing cover off because I broke the stud on the coolant flange. So up here, there's one stud and then another stud. That stud snapped off. Why did it snap off? I don't want to talk about it. But luckily for me, I like hoarding parts, and I just so happen to have an 07K upper timing cover, and the studs are intact. So gotta take that one off. Let's get to work. So it's just a bunch of T30 bolts, and I need to fire the guy who's in charge of my tool organization. He sucks. He's awful. I'm just gonna go through and crack all these, and then I could probably just take them out with my hand instead of trying to go through here and... And there's one right behind this coolant flange, so I'm going to have to take it off, and I don't know where my 10 mil is. Go figure. When you stick your tongue out when you're focused, it's like a plus 10 on the focus ability. You're really able to lock in There we go. Now I should be able to unscrew these all by hand. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay, now we should be able to just pry this off. I'm just gonna take a pick and try to break it away from the gasket. Whoa. You stay right where you are, sir. There we go. Hello. That's what the back of a, the timing, well, I guess technically in a transverse application, this would be the front or the side. I don't know. But now we need to go through here and get all this gasket maker off of the cylinder head. So then that way, this one seals properly. And fortunately for me, we have a wall of gasket maker. Fuel resistant? No. Epoxy? No. This one, I think probably would be the right one. Or would it? We're gonna want this one. Permatex, gasket maker, oil pans, timing covers, transmission pans, differential covers. This one's the one we want. Give me a few minutes while I pick all of this off of this. Okay, head's all cleaned up, dude. This was so nice. The one piece on the outside just literally came all off in one piece. That was so cool. So now we're gonna take this Permatex gasket maker and then we're gonna line up the entire outside and all in here, like all in the bolt holes with some gasket maker. Just using some gunk brake cleaner. You know the deal. I love Gunk. I love Blaster. They're owned by the same company. They are like, and this is the moment where I tell you, this video is sponsored by Blaster and Gunk. I'm just kidding. Well, technically I'm not kidding, but I'm not gonna be like that. But just go to your local parts store, pick up some Gunk, some brake cleaner. Look at that, yummy. Look at that, look at that. It's just all clean now. And it smells great. Don't huff brake cleaner, but you can go to your local parts store, AutoZone, Advanced Auto, O'Reilly's, Walmart even has Gunk. You know the deal. You can find it literally anywhere. Because when you grow up, you want to be just like me. I'm just making sure there's no like insane particles but not the oil residue, the brown stuff on the outside, that's fine. But I'm just making sure that there's no insane big chunks of anything that are going to go inside the engine or mess up timing. All right, so we're gonna just use some Permatex Optimum Max Flex gasket maker. Has oil resistance, so it's perfect for timing covers, all that fun stuff. You can go to Walmart, literally same thing with Gunk. You go to Advanced Auto, you go to Walmart, you go to freaking O'Reilly's, you go to AutoZone, walk in there and tell him, hey, this guy Brett, he's so smart and he knows what he's doing. He wants me to buy Permatex and Gunk. And I bet you that freaking parts guy is gonna be like, yeah, you want that stuff. Now I have to focus really hard on this, but when you put the gasket maker on, you're gonna try to get it closer to the edge than you are the inside because you don't want this to go in here. This is a problem with Subarus, like the new Subarus. I think it was the BRZs where gasket maker or RTV was getting inside and then blocking up oil passages and then blowing the engine up. Typical Subaru. So you don't want that to happen. So I'm gonna focus really, really hard. Look at him, he's got his tongue out, he's focused. He knows what he's doing, he's confident, he's beautiful. It's so frustrating when you are trying with all of your might and you're just still so shaky, can't do anything about it. Let's get this thing on the head before it freaking dries. Oh no. I might have fucked that up. I'm just gonna send it. If it leaks, I guess I gotta do this again. Okay, we're back. It's the next day. The timing cover, the gasket has cured. Awesome. So the timing cover is on there. The gasket's nice and sealed up. We got the coolant flange all nice and on there. Now, before I put the engine back, we're gonna do two things. I just ordered some caps for these plugs right here, or these leads or whatever for the coolant. I don't need them, so not really worried about it. I might use this one as like a steam vent, but not 100% sure if I need it. I don't think I do. The other thing that showed up in the mail is this. This is an adjustable slave cylinder rod. So if you guys hadn't seen, I was having clutch issues. The clutch wasn't fully engaging. What it felt like in the pedal was that the slave cylinder rod wasn't long enough. So when the slave cylinder would, put force onto the clutch fork wasn't compressing the pressure plate enough to where it would disengage the clutch. At least that's what it felt like. and I'm just kind of spitballing here, so that's what I'm gonna try. And this is an adjustable slave cylinder rod, so what we can do is we can actually, you know, adjust this however we need it to. So what I'm gonna do is adjust it as long as I possibly can, and then I'm gonna throw some red thread locker on there, so hopefully it doesn't go anywhere. We're gonna grab some Permatex red thread locker. So this is Permatex's red gel thread locker. I don't know, I just kind of like the gel, so we're gonna coat this puppy sucker. Spread it out a little bit, huh? How about that? You ain't going nowhere, you dirty gunna. Hopefully this fixes the issue. I really hope so. All right, bad news. Can't seem to get the clutch to work. It's bled, I vacuum bled it, that's for certain. Clutch pedal feels pretty good. It's nice and stiff. There's not a lot of travel. I'm gonna try to tinker with it really quick, but ultimately, we're gonna go ballistic and just pull the engine out and try to redo the clutch setup. There is quite a bit of travel in between the clutch fork and the the throwout bearing hitting the pressure plate. I feel it maybe is like ½ an inch of play. So maybe the pin just needs to be really long. Not entirely sure. So let me mess around with it and we'll figure it out. We'll try to figure it out at least. This here was the adjustable one that I ordered online. Wasn't long enough. So I found this really long, small bolt. Don't even know what size it is. It's probably like 10 mil maybe. I took the head off of that one. I put it onto this one. Look at that, and then I, you know, grinded it to kind of give it like that little ball shaped thingy-mabob. And I had it all the way out to here, like all the way out to here. And still that son of a bitch isn't long enough. So, and then I was playing around with the clutch fork. I could feel the clutch fork like wiggling and jiggling. And then when I was pressing the clutch, I heard something ping and hit the bottom of the bell housing, so that's not good. You don't want that. So I think something, either like the little pin on like the little pivot pin, there's like a little metal clip that holds on the clutch fork to the pivot pin. I think that popped off. So we gotta pull the engine regardless, which really sucks, but it's not the end of the world. It'll take me, I don't know, 20 minutes. So let's get to it. That was cool. That took me 7 minutes. Awesome. That was so easy. And nothing went wrong. All right, well, let's get this engine on something and then we'll take the trans off and kind of assess the situation. Engine out, trans off, and let's look at the clutch fork situation. Let me turn this back over to the right side. So when I push the clutch fork, as far as it like possibly can go forward, it maxes out there. Who even knows if the freaking throwout bearing was hitting the pressure plate? Okay, maybe it goes out farther than that, but it's definitely not smooth. Like, there's a better way to do this. So we just gotta figure out what the better way is. Also, sneaking suspicion that maybe potentially, oh, that's bizarre. This is a bunch of grinding from something. What would that even be from on the outside of the pressure plate? What the hell? What? All right, we got a lot of issues. Honestly, I'm glad that we pulled this out. We got some stuff that we need to address. Like, that is on the flywheel, the ring gear. It's not even like, also very potentially we could have the clutch in backwards. There was no indicator on the like pressure plate or the clutch disc that said which side goes to the flywheel. Usually every time I've done a clutch, there's something on the clutch disc that says, this is the flywheel side. This one didn't have it. So I was just like, I think this looks right. So it very well could have been wrong. And I'm really confused on why is that all dinged up on the outside of the pressure plate? For a second, I thought maybe this is all from the fork, but then I was thinking, oh, if the pilot bearing or the throwout bearing is there, that doesn't make sense. But maybe this is from when I had the clutch in and was trying to crank it to see if the clutch was working. And maybe this was like all the way compressing against the pressure plate and then maybe grinding on the fork, because there's some sign of like contact, but I can't remember what this looked like before I did this. I'm really confused on this whole situation. This is gonna take me a while to figure out. I just gotta sit here, look at it and be like, what the hell went wrong? I guess let's just take off the pressure plate and pull the clutch disc out and go from there. I'm feeling super defeated, but why? I shouldn't be. Hiya! Gotta do these really fast so we don't turn the engine over. Hiya! I wish there was a way to test if the clutch is going to work outside of the vehicle. I don't think technically anybody's tried to do this yet. I might be the first person, and that's a really bad idea because I don't know what I'm doing. So me being the first person to do anything automotive, not a good idea. I'm gonna be honest. And I was talking to somebody the other day, and I was talking about when like things get confusing like this is when I start to get really frustrated, but this is also the part that I enjoy, like the puzzle problem solving part. I hate the process of the problem solving, but I love the end result of finally figuring out the puzzle. Yeah, so this was the side that I had facing out. Maybe this should be the side that goes in, but like I think it feels like it's hitting something. So we made it down here to my brother's because he's gonna do some welding to the clutch fork. We're just gonna do the Polish method, do the double clutch fork on the freaking ZF trans setup. But I wanted to show you guys something really quick because it's probably gonna be a part of the channel here in the future. This is his 77 bus, type 2, whatever the hell you wanna call it. And he has been dicking around with this thing for like the last 10 years. And he's kind of telling me that he's given up with it and he wants to Subaru swap it. But he said the only way that he's gonna Subaru swap it is if we do it on our channel, on my channel. And then that way he can also get slightly internet clout famous too. So I don't know if you guys want to see that. You guys are going to see that regardless, but if you want to see it, you'll see it. And if you don't want to see it, you'll still see it. But if you guys have any info on what kind of Subaru engine is like the best to do this with, let us know, because we don't really know. We're not Subaru people. He's not even a Volkswagen person. He just kind of has it. But okay, let's go weld the clutch fork. So I'm making this last little part in a rush because I got a lot of stuff to do. I don't have my microphone, but my brother did do the Polish style weld on the clutch fork. So basically just weld 2 clutch forks together, and then we'll put it into the ZF, and then we'll put it back in. But I need to physically end the video right now or else it won't come out for another 2 weeks because I'm moving. Everything in the shop right now has to get cleaned up, packed up, and moved. Moving shops. Now I know I've only been in this shop for about a year, but this shop was always meant to just be temporary because the double door situation does not allow for me to get anything bigger than a Mark II or an E30 inside the shop. And once I get everything cleaned up and moved over, you guys will see hopefully a video sometime next week or in the coming days, or I gotta clean it up, do some fancy stuff, and then paint it. So if you guys wanna see that, let me know. Do like a transformation. I'm gonna try to make it really nice, really cool, because I think this shop will be there for a while. So sorry for blue balling you guys once again, but leaving you guys on a cliffhanger. But trust me, I'm a busy man doing all this by myself, so I gotta get all this cleaned up, and it's gonna be fun. And there's snow everywhere, so that'll be fun to deal with. So anyway, thanks guys for watching the video. Sorry to blue ball you, but just trust me, it'll be worth it. Just stay patient with me, all right? This is gonna work in the next video or in some video in the future, okay? All right, thank you guys for watching. Leave a like, 1,000 likes, and I'll show you guys my toes, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. I love you. Go do something cool. Goodbye.